Hello, it's Juan, and today we're going to talk about the 23mm f2 lens. I have been using this little lens for about a year, and I have shot a lot of portraits, a lot of street photography. I will break down my opinions on the video. You can skip to the chapter you'd like to hear about. Now, the first one is focal length. As you know, we have the 23mm, 35mm, and a wider alternative. In my personal opinion, right, 35mm equivalent, it's the best all-around option for an everyday lens. And there's actually a reason why this lens is included in all the X100 series. And you know how popular they are. In the end, focal length is just a preference, and just pick the one you like the most. The build quality and the aperture is the same. It's just that I personally prefer the 23mm as a personal everyday lens. Now, I have the X-T5. Obviously, the X100 series are a lot smaller, and even the XT, it's a lot smaller. But this keeps the camera in a relatively small package. It's not intrusive, and if you would like something smaller, you can always attach a pancake lens. But I just enjoy using this little lens for what it is.
Bokeh.
As you know, this lens opens up to f2. You can blur the background, you can have good separation with your subject, but if it's bokeh what you want, this is not the lens for you. In that case, you will be better off with another alternative, like the 1.2. But then again, you will be trading the benefits of being compact and lightweight. And as you know, that lens is a lot bigger and a lot heavier, so it's just not for me. Does it resolve 40 megapixels? According to Fuji, it does. And from a lot of videos and research I have gathered, if you stop down to f4, f5, you will get amazing corner to corner and edge to edge sharpness. But if you use it at f2, I don't think it affects the image at all. You will have really to compare and pixel peep the corners to find any drastic differences. But regardless of this lens, I like to shoot at f4, f5 because I want things to be in focus most of the time. This lens has chromatic aberration. Sometimes I've noticed it, but it's so subtle that it doesn't affect the quality of the image. And I have seen some people embrace it and leave it as a characteristic. Now, lens distortion. Again, this lens has lens distortion, a little bit of vignetting on the edges. I've shot everything with this camera and this lens, so I think it's a very good, underrated lens for video. What I really like is that the lens and the camera sit in a comfortable position, so you can shoot video handheld. You know, you have your stabilization, and even when you're taking photos, it's easy to take the photos because of the same reason. The lens is not too thin or not too heavy. Now, focusing. While taking photos, this lens is responsive, is quick, and you have a lot of settings. Even though if this lens or Fuji is not as good as Canon or Sony's, I think this lens does a good job. And the times I've missed focus, I feel it's more on me than the lens. For video, it's a different story. I mean, it's quick to focus. If you have a subject or an object, you can use eye detect for talking head videos, for example. But if you're recording a scene with a lot of movement, I feel like it's better to use the autofocus to set focus and then change it to manual to avoid focus bleeding. But again, very usable and it works as intended. Now, some closing thoughts. This little lens has become a little bit of a gem among the community, just because how versatile it is to being the same lens as in the X100 lineup. But I have a friend who also shoots Fuji, and he had 3 lenses already to send one for repair, so I lent him this lens for a week, I think it was. He was so happy of using a prime. He had 2 zoom lenses that he bought one for himself. So it's classic. It has an aperture ring, and finally, because the filter thread is so small, you will be able to use them with the lens just using an adapter. So that's another benefit. Well, I think that's it for now. Let me hear your opinions on this little lens. Do you prefer one of the other focal lengths? Do you prefer a 1.2 aperture lens? Let me know. And again, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, that's amazing. If you don't, that's good too. All right, have a good day.